The best gaming motherboard is like the foundation for your dream PC build. It's a bit of a strained metaphor, but the idea is that a good motherboard defines what your machine can and can't do. It defines what tech is supported and lets you go from there. A really good gaming motherboard will last you a few CPUs and make for trouble-free gaming. In this video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 best motherboards in 2022. If you're looking to upgrade your computer, then you'll want to check out this video. I'll be giving you an overview of the best motherboards on the market, so you can make an informed decision when you purchase your next one. Also, don't forget to give a like when you find this video informative, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. So without further ado, let's get started. The fifth motherboard on our list is Asus TUF Gaming Z590 Plus Wi-Fi. The Z590 motherboard for Intel Rocket Lake. Intel's previous generation of CPUs under the Rocket Lake series continues to be a viable option, especially if you are planning to save on a few dollars. The Asus TUF Gaming Z590 Plus Wi-Fi is a great option for 11th generation CPUs as it delivers a wide set of features at a very reasonable price. You get a total of 3 M.2 sockets, where the top M.2 socket supports PCIe 4.0 while the other two support PCIe 3.0. All of the M.2 slots come with a heatsink, and these sockets also feature a unique locking mechanism so you don't need to mess with those tiny screws. As for power delivery, the TUF Gaming Z590 Plus uses a 19-phase configuration which should be enough to handle the top-of-the-line 11900K with minor overclocking tweak. Asus lists that this board can support memory of up to DDR4 5133 using the 4DIMM slot. Moving to the rear I/O, the board includes a pre-installed I/O shield, which is a great start. There is a PS divided by 2 legacy ports sitting above 2 USB 2.0 ports, followed by an HDMI version 2.0 port and a DisplayPort version 1.4 output for video. There are also 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, a USB 3.2 Gen 12x2 Type-C port, 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, an Intel 2.5 GBE port, Wi-Fi 6 antenna ports, and the 5-plug plus SPDIF audio stack. The board also comes with some RGB lighting along with 2 RGB and ARGB headers respectively. The fourth motherboard on our list is MSI Mag B660 Tomahawk Wi-Fi, best B660 motherboard for Intel Alder Lake. The B660 chipset is an affordable solution for anyone planning to go for Intel's latest 12th Gen Alder Lake platform. While you cannot overclock the CPU, the board does allow overclocking the memory, which is a pretty good deal, especially under $200. Featuring a full black finish, this ATX motherboard packs a really good set of features despite losing out on some. Firstly, it does not support DDR5 memory, which is a small compromise as DDR4 is no slouch. Also, there is no PCIe 5.0 support, but you do get 3 M.2 sockets offering PCIe Gen 4.0 speeds alongside the primary PCIe X16 slot. The secondary PCIe X16 slot is limited to PCIe Gen 3.0. As for power delivery, the board comes with 12 plus 2-phase VRM powered by dual 8-pin power connectors, and there is ample amount of cooling for the VRM's chipset and both the M.2 slots as well. The rear I/O is very generous, packing Realtek 2.5G LAN and Intel Wi-Fi 6 for network, a total of 9 USB ports which includes 4 USB 2.0, 4 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, and a USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 220 Gbps Type-C port. There's also a full set of audio ports with SPDIF that is backed up by a Realtek ALC1220 chip, and finally, HDMI 2.1 and DP 1.4 ports in case you need to use the integrated graphics. The third motherboard on our list is MSI Meg Z690i Unify, best Z690 Mini ITX motherboard. ITX motherboards for the latest Intel 12th Gen CPU are a rare sight, let alone something with high-end features and specifications. The MSI Meg Z690i Unify is the most premium motherboard on the market if you are planning to grab a new Intel Alder Lake CPU for a compact build. It features 12-phase VRMs with 105 amps SPS MOSFETs, which ensures excellent power delivery, and a robust VRM cooling system that includes multiple heatsinks, a heat pipe, and a tiny cooling fan. There is support for up to 64 GB of DDR5 memory running at 6800 MHz overclock, alongside 3 M.2 slots, which is impressive for a mini ITX board. Apart from the PCIe 5.0x16 slot, 2 of the M.2 slots support PCIe 4.0, while one of them supports PCIe 3.0 and SATA 6 GB per second. You also get a total of 4 SATA 6 GB per second ports for additional storage. Wireless connectivity options include Intel Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.2, which means fast and stable connections. As for the rear I/O, you get a pre-installed plate and a healthy set of ports including 2 Thunderbolt 4 Type-C ports, 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-A ports, and 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, a DisplayPort 1.4 connector, HDMI 2.1 port, 2 mini DisplayPort connections, an Intel 2.5 GBE port, the Wi-Fi 6E antenna connections, 3 plug analog audio ports, and a clear CMOS button. The second motherboard on our list is MSI MPG Z690 Carbon XX Gaming, best Intel 12th Gen motherboard for liquid cooling. It is no secret that the new 12th Gen Intel Alder Lake CPUs are pretty impressive when it comes to raw performance. But with great power comes a lot of heat, especially if you are going for the top chips like the Core i9 12900K or the Core i7 12700K. MSI has partnered with EK Water Blocks, a popular name when it comes to water cooling PC components including CPUs, GPU, RAM and SSDs. The motherboard comes with a pre-installed monoblock that covers the CPU, VRMs, and the primary M.2 section for superior cooling performance. It also comes with a bunch of high-end features. There are 4 DDR5 memory DIMM slots with support for up to 6666 MHz clock speeds and Intel XMP 3.0, with a total of 3 PCIe X16 slots. There is also support for PCIe 5.0 on the top 2, while the bottom slots support PCIe 4.0. For storage, there are a total of 5 M.2 slots, out of which 4 support PCIe 4.0, and 2 support the SATA interface. There are also 6 dedicated SATA ports for additional SSD and HDD storage. As for the rear I/O, there are a ton of options. You get 4 USB 2.0 ports, 5 USB 3.2 Gen 2 10 Gbps type of ports, a USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 220 Gbps Type-C port, DisplayPort 1.4, HDMI 2.1, 2, 5G LAN Ethernet port, optical S, PDIF out, and 5-port audio out connector cluster. There is also built-in Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.2. The first motherboard on our list is Gigabyte Z690 Aorus Ultra, best motherboard for Intel Alder Lake CPUs. The Gigabyte Z690 Aorus Ultra features an industrial design with its dark gray and silver finish, which is an update from the previous Z590 model. The board supports DDR5 6200 memory of up to 128 GB, and the primary PCIe X16 slot offers PCIe Gen 5 as standard, making it future-proof. There are also a total of 4 M.2 slots and 6 SATA ports, allowing one to have plenty of internal storage. As for VRMs, Gigabyte has implemented a 19-phase setup, with 16 phases dedicated to vCore, 105 amps Renesas SPS MOSFETs, as well as finned heatsinks for the VRM, and 2 large dedicated heatsinks for the top and bottom M.2 sockets. The rear I/O is packed with a slew of ports, including a total of 13 total USB ports, 1 USB 3.2 Type-C port, 4 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, and 4 USB 2.0 ports. There's also a DisplayPort connector, 2 analog plugs with an SPDIF port for audio, Wi-Fi 6 antenna, and the Intel 2.5 GBE port. For RGB enthusiasts, the Aorus logo near the rear I/O lights up using LEDs underneath, and additionally, there are plenty of RGB and ARGB headers in case you like to bring it up. Thanks for watching the video to the end. We appreciate your support. And we'd love some more if you want us to keep doing these types of videos. You can do that by giving us a thumbs up, subscribing, and turning on the bell notification.